Sean Callahan here with Nebraska offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield here in the satellite camps in Houston. First of all, Coach, you guys been on the road running these camps the last couple of days, had camps in Lincoln. How busy is this month of June for you? And then you have visitors obviously coming in on and off campus.
It's turned into a very hectic month in college football, and but I think it's something that you're having to adapt to and figure out how to be the best at managing the month of June. Everybody's having to deal with it. We're just trying to be the best at it.
You've been at a lot of places, most recently South Carolina. What's unique about Nebraska as far as the recruiting and just the management when you kind of compare working in the SEC at South Carolina now at Nebraska?
Well, we don't really, it's South Carolina, that region you're recruiting against, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Auburn. It's, you're kind of in that southeastern part. I think being in the Midwest, being a brand like Nebraska, we're allowed to be more national where we weren't at South Carolina. I think that we're pulling from the West Coast to East Coast, the Northeast, the Southeast, Texas. So I think it's an easier place for the whole country to get to, and gives us a little bit more selection, a little bit more area to recruit.
As a coordinator, what is your strategy as a recruiter? Are you mainly just quarterbacks? Are you involved in all discussion? I mean, do you have a territory that you like to go to when you're not looking at quarterbacks?
I have Denver, Colorado, and then I have national quarterbacks. So most of this month, the month of May, spring recruiting was just going around watching different quarterbacks throw, really focusing on the 25 class now that we've got our 24 locked in. It's crazy. Like, I'm watching 25s, I'm watching 26s, I'm watching even 27s, which 10 years ago you'd laugh at the thought of that, but now everything's so fast in recruiting, you got to stay ahead.
Yeah, you see these 8th grade quarterbacks, 9th grade quarterbacks get offers. I mean, a lot of fans, they're really offering 8th grade, but is there more to it? I mean, do you have to see a guy work out, develop more? When you offer a kid that young, do you say, hey, you have an offer, but we need to see a little bit more the next year before it's committable?
The kid's got to be really have a special skill set to do that for an 8th grader that's going to be, and you can tell immediately if they're going to be different. So they're obviously probably not going to commit to you when you offer them as an 8th grader. But now, again, recruiting's so fast, these kids, you've got to show them and their families that you're serious about recruiting them, because it takes a lot of time and money to come, to fly to campus and come to camp. So if they feel like that you're serious about recruiting their children, then they're going to bring them to campus.
You brought in Jeff Sims, speaking of quarterbacks, as a transfer portal quarterback from Georgia Tech. He played for Jeff Collins, who both you and Coach Rule have a relationship with. What kind of knowledge of Jeff did you have before you brought him to Nebraska?
Just some conversations with Jeff about the competitiveness, the mindset. Does he love football? Those things, teammate, leadership that we were able to get. And then when I met Jeff and his family, his mom and dad, just fell in love with him. His little brother is awesome. Then you get him on campus, and I'd never seen him throw live, but when he started throwing the ball, you kind of look around like, dang, I knew he threw the ball well, but it looks and feels different, up close and personal. So really excited about how he's developed over the spring and the early part of the summer. He's in the film room, he's trying to learn as much as he can, try to expedite the process. So really, he's in a good spot. Really look forward to seeing where we can take him, as the year goes on.
And you guys jumped on him quickly once you got hired. That was one of the first strategic moves you made. When you look back at that, how big was that, knowing how hard it is to find a Jeff Sims in the portal?
Really hard. In my first year at South Carolina, we had to play with a GA at quarterback, and we had, we didn't have the quarterback room that we have here at Nebraska. So I knew, talking with Coach Rule, once we get in there, we've got to go find, it doesn't matter really what you do if you don't have a quarterback. So the advantage of getting to know the kid fast with Jeff and that relationship that he had, I think really helped us out.
And then two other guys quickly here, Coach. Shabba Purdy, Heinrich Harburg, both have had their moments. First on Shabba, what did you see from him this spring? I know he left the season with injury last year, but looked like he came on strong towards the end.
He did. He started out kind of, I think, just trying to figure out his role with all the quarterbacks in the room, and I think he really, really picked it up halfway through spring and finished off on a real strong, a strong surge. So he's, competitive, playmaker, can all schedule plays, can run the football. He's got a tough mindset. He's super competitive. He loves football, and he's a winner. So, him or Heinrich, either one, I am very comfortable with either one of them going in the game and playing and trying to help us win games.
Would you bring 4 quarterbacks into camp right now, and who would be the 4th?
We would definitely bring, we're definitely going to bring in 4th Jack. One of our guys that came in at Christmas this year, younger guy who's coming in from IMG, developmental guy, will be with us, and then may add one more walk-on just to make sure we have enough arms.
Well, Coach, hopefully when the camp season's over, you get a chance to enjoy some family time and get moved to Lincoln. I know it's been a process getting your family here, but I appreciate the time out here in Houston.
Go Big Red.